Thank you, Telegraph, the Calcutta Club, Avikda, Chairman Sir, my fellow panelists. I come from a small town, the epicenter of Kurukshetra. It's called the Kethal Kapisthal. And I was hearing my fellow panelists. I was remembering the Bengal connection. I'm proud of the fact that, that the area that I've represented for a long, long time houses the mutt of Maharaj Totapuri, who, as we may know, was the guru of Swami Ramakrishan Paramhans. So as I stand here to oppose the motion, without the finesse of the words that Suhail used, let me recall an incident from his life, Swami Ramakrishan Paramhans. Once when Swamiji was taking a walk on the banks of the river along with his disciples, he saw a scorpion floating in the river. By instinct, he entered the water to pick up the scorpion and to save it. The scorpion stung him. Swamiji moved his hand and it fell back into the water. He tried once again, and once again the scorpion stung him and it again fell down. So he took a twig and put the scorpion on the side. So one of his disciples asked him, "Well, the scorpion stung you twice. Why did you still take it out? Why did you save his life?" So I want to recollect what he said. He said, "That is the nature of the scorpion. It will sting. It is my nature to help it. And should I give up my nature just because the scorpion stings? I will not." So ladies and gentlemen, shall we give up compassion because another one is cruel? Shall we give up love and affection because another one spurns us? Shall we give up humility because another one is arrogant? Shall we give up tolerance because another one is intolerance? And the answer is plain and simple, no. And while I say this, I am aware that in today's times, if you are inclusive, if you are tolerant, if you are compassionate, you will be hounded, you will be persecuted, and you will be trolled by those who stridently oppose your compassion and tolerance. But does it mean that the fringe has become the mainstream? Does it mean that if you disagree with the ruling establishment, if I disagree with Suhail, then I am the enemy? Does it mean dissent is anti-national? Does it mean that I need to carry a certificate of patriotism everywhere I go? The answer is again plain and simple, no. While I say this, I'm painfully aware that the fault lines of identity, of religion, of caste, of region, they have become very, very sharp. They have become disdainfully prominent in India. Last 22 months of this government, they have witnessed brutal divisions, ugly hatred, and bloodthirsty violence. On account of this repeated mindless and often heartless attack on 5,000 years of composite culture and compassion, it often appears that this is the mainstream discourse. But is it? Because its intensity and its noise is so strong and so loud that all sanity appears to have been lost in the din. So naturally, it looks as if intolerance is the new tolerance. What has happened needs to be examined and has to be understood by the events that have transpired, some of which Suhail referred to, some of which Justice Ganguly referred to, and let me recollect a few. 22 months ago, this government had not even completed the honeymoon when one of the Union Minister, General V.K. Singh, called the army chief a dacoit. Never before in the history of this country had this happened. And let me recollect something else. Successive, and Kajol mentioned some of them, and Suhail mentioned some of them, and let me borrow from them. Successive misogynist and regressive comments have been made repeatedly for India's women that reflect a particular mindset. The then defense minister, and I will never call any minister or anybody senior stupid, but the then defense minister and current finance minister, Mr. Jaitley, called the Nirbhaya incident as one small incident of rape. Not to be outdone, Haryana BJP CM Manohar Lal Khattar, he says if women want freedom, why don't they roam around naked? RSS chief Mr. Mohan Bhagwat in the past has said that rapes rarely happen in Bharat and they occur frequently in India. Former BJP CM and Madhya Pradesh Home Minister Babulal Gaur says rape is sometimes right and sometimes wrong. BJP Goa CM Lakshmikant Parsekar tells nurses not to stand in the sun because they will lose their matrimonial prospects if they get dark. And these can be multiplied. Let me give you one more example. Religious dogma and hatred, they have become most pronounced with a continuing hate agenda against minorities run by the ruling dispensation. And how? Union Minister Sadhvi Niranjan Jyoti famously said in Delhi elections that this is a fight between Ramzadas and Haramzadas. I don't know whether it can be dismissed. Very recently, and Suhail referred to it, Union Minister Ram Shankar Kateria, he calls all Muslims demons, calls them the descendants of Ravana, and says they all should be beheaded. Union Home Minister Rajnath Singh, sir, justifies his comments and says they are fine. BJP MP Sakshi Maharaj, he says education of terrorism is being given in madrasas. Union Minister Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi says if you want to go eat beef, go to Pakistan. Mahesh Sharma says, another union minister, despite being a Muslim, APJ Abdul Kalam was a nationalist. And these examples can be multiplied. Let me give you one more example. Suppression of voice of Dalits and students appear to have become the norm. General V.K. Singh describes a Dalit child and compares him to a dog. Ambedkar Periya Study Circle in IIT Madras is banned because they criticize Modi government. BJP National General Secretary P. Muralidhar Rao describes Rohit Vemula as an anti-national. Rohit Vemula is driven to suicide on account of letter written by another union minister, Bandaru Dattatray, and the education minister, Mrs. Irani. JNU Delhi is called a den of anti-national. Some people call them, all the girls there, as prostitutes. Some others count the contraceptives thrown there. And of course, JNU President Kanhaiya Kumar is charged with sedition. It's a different issue that the video emanates from an aide of the education minister. Let me give you one more example before I conclude. Suppression of free speech, targeting of writers, thinkers, journalists, that has become the new norm. Hundreds of writers, artists, and thinkers returned their award. And the finance minister says this is manufactured dissent. Former Union Minister Arun Shuri is trolled for criticizing Modi, and his son, who's suffering from cerebral palsy, even attacked. Gopal Subramaniam is not appointed as a Supreme Court judge because he appeared against Mr. Amit Shah. M.M. Kulbargi, Pansare, and Dalbolkar appear to have been killed with the same weapon. Political opponents are persecuted every day. Journalists are persecuted every day. The senior-most chief minister of the country, Mr. Veerbhadra Singh, his official residence is raided on a day when his daughter is getting married. Can they succeed? Obviously, they can't. India's DNA, as Suhail said, actually India's DNA is about compassion, it's about cohabitation, and it's about coexistence. We are a nation that enabled birth of different religions, adopted many religions, and still thrived. We are a people who calibrated Shaivism, Vaishnavism, Shaktism, Buddhism, Jainism, Sufism, Ahmadiyas, Sikhism, and whatnot. We co-opted Bhakti, we co-opted Nirgun, we co-opted Valmiki, Kabir, Meera, Tulsi, Aulia. So all that I want to say, I'm confident that no government or organization can take away our DNA of compassion, coexistence, and cohabitation. And I'll just quote one line with Chair's permission.
You need to stop
Let me end by quoting Rabindranath Tagore, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high. Into that heaven of freedom, my father, let my country awake. Thank you.